Hey everybody! Thanks for stopping by. I'm Sam. I'm here with my two buddies, Jason and Corey, and we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened today. It was pretty fun. Let's get right into it. Why not, huh? We got a lot to cover here. So first up in the Direct, open blankly to Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Mario and Luigi, brothership of the thing.
uh,
Brother, brothers to show Sephiroth what's for this time.
they're finally coming out with it. No more.
I've never played a Mario and Luigi. It's one of those Nintendo properties that I look at and I'm like, huh, that's kind of neat. And then I immediately forget about it and I go about my day. And then a new one comes out and I'm like, ah, geez, if only I'd been playing the Mario and Luigi games this whole time.
I feel like it would be right up your alley too.
Oh, definitely. Uh, yeah. It's great that all of the Mario RPG series are now like properly represented on the Switch. Because you got the Mario
Yeah.
RPG remake, you got Thousand Year Door remake, and now there's this, which looks gorgeous, by the way. Like this looks visually fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so
I don't know what
distinct.
I don't know what the term is for like, because it kind of reminds me of like other games that are like replicating a 2D cartoony art style but in 3D,
Mhm.
and it's not just cell shaded. Like it feels like it's more in depth than that, but I don't know what the technical term is.
There's a bit of like an outline to the characters as they move. Is what it looks like.
Definitely.
They did a really good job of trying to translate that original look that they had on the what was that, GBA, DS, and the 3DS,
Right.
and then
I
translating
think
that to an HD.
I could be wrong, but it looks like they're doing a subtle thing, especially in the battles, where they're like animating them in such a way that they
Yes.
still look like they're sprite based.
And let me just
It's
say,
kind of like it's almost like the Dragon Ball Z fighter game, where like they're not quite animated smoothly, and it makes them look more like they were drawn.
and the animation is gorgeous. All of the bros attacks that they were showing in the presentation, absolutely
that they-
beautiful.
I like that they turn into a flying saucer.
It was pretty good.
So we saw Peach in that trailer. We saw Bowser.
Yeah.
I don't know how
We
those two are
saw-
going to factor into the story because it didn't seem like Peach was in like trouble. Didn't seem like she was being kidnapped. So maybe she'll just be like helping out,
I feel like in
wrangling all
those,
those little toaster buddies that we saw.
yeah, again, I don't know, but it feels like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a Mario game. Let's throw Peach in one bit because it feels like she should be involved.
Right.
Same with Bowser.
It's a Mario game.
In the previous Mario RPGs, I don't know it. I only played the first Mario and Luigi, so I don't know how much this applies. But in RPG and the Paper Mario series, Peach and Bowser have a history of being pretty involved with it.
Hmm.
Because, like in RPG, you get them as party members, and
Mhm.
Obviously Paper Mario, it's the classic like Bowser is the villain, and you have to save Peach.
Yeah.
But in Thousand Years Door, Bowser and Peach each have their own playable sections, and same with like Super Paper Mario.
Mhm.
The last Mario and Luigi game that I played was Dream Team, and yeah, Bowser has that. It's the whole Bowser trying to kidnap Peach shtick for
Yeah,
a moment.
Classic meme.
Yeah,
A
and
classic bit.
then it's a little tired, but
Mhm.
A little bit.
they move
I
past
feel like
they
they're-
move
I
past
feel
that
like
at a
they're
certain
steering
point.
away from that now.
Yeah.
Because like in Mario Wonder, like Peach is just one of the buddies. She's not being kidnapped or anything. There's not really anyone. There's no kidnapping at all in Mario Wonder. Bowser's just trying to take drugs to turn into a castle.
Yeah. When was, aside from like Mario 2, when was the last time Peach was playable in like a Mario game?
Super Mario Wonder.
Super Mario Wonder, yeah, probably.
Yep.
Though she
Well,
might have been
that-
playable in like the 3D Land or 3D World games. I never played
Oh,
any
yeah.
of those either.
Yeah.
She was,
Okay.
because that's where you get the
Cat.
See, like, the cat.
That's where you get cat.
Anyways, the takeaway for Mario and Luigi Brothership is that I like the dude who had like a hammer-headed pompadour. Big fan.
Big fan.
No
Big fan
notes.
of that one. Comes out 7th of November this year.
More pompadours in Nintendo games, please. There's not nearly enough.
Pretty please. Speaking of pompadours, no, this has nothing to do with pompadours.
I was gonna
Nintendo
say.
Nintendo World Championships NES edition is coming out the 18th of July this year. This is a game that exists.
Yeah, it's like
It's very much one of those things where like I acknowledge very openly it's not something for me or something that I will enjoy, but I'm sure there's some autistic ass Nintendo fans out there who are ecstatic.
And they're gonna
I've
buy.
never been more excited.
They're gonna
in
buy
their
the
life.
deluxe set.
I
Yeah.
just want to point out that Jason can say that because he is one of those guys.
Yeah, that
It's
is
a different type of Nintendo autism, but it is autism nonetheless.
No, I think this looks neat. If nothing else, because it's just a fun way to like experience these old NES games with a little bit more of a like direct goal to it. I like that when you turn on the tips and tricks thing, it's like you're looking at an issue of
Yeah.
Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
that is really cool.
And I also noticed that there's a multiplayer mode where you're not racing against the clock, you're going against other people. And I wonder if this is part of the reason why Mario 25 was a temporary game, is if they knew that
35.
this was going to have a very similar function.
Hush you. Let the man speak. I mean, the Nintendo Championships, I think were probably pretty before my time. But if it is at all accurate to like what that was like, I think it's cool that they're like, yeah, it's a piece of Nintendo history that now you can buy. And
It is fun. They have
like,
done it.
try-
They have done Nintendo World Championships like twice in recent years. My thing with this particular game is that it feels kind of like NES remix, but without the remix.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or another way you could look at it is that like this is just a lot of the same games that you get with NSO, but just with a little bit of extra packaging.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think what they should do to make this more worthwhile is that when you beat like a certain time on each game, you should unlock a cutscene that's just a section of the movie The Wizard. And then when you've done all of it, you can just watch The Wizard on your Switch.
There you go.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Oh man. All right.
That movie sucks.
The movie's great.
That movie's mid.
No. Now we have to fight in the comments and then kiss.
No. Actually, I don't even like it that much.
I've never seen it.
I only ever saw The Wizard when I was a kid, and like it I should have liked it because it was about video games, but I didn't really know what it was about. I just knew that it was about Nintendo and it was called The Wizard, and I was expecting like wizard stuff.
Some more wizardful wizarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Eh.
wonderful wizarding.
Anyway, this next game that we got on here is Fairy Tale 2, which is coming out this winter.
I never finished Fairy Tale. I watched a bit of it and then I said,
I'm right
bored
there
now.
with you. Right there with you. I think I watched
Yeah.
the first like 2 seasons, maybe.
I mean,
It was-
as far as like your typical like shonen cartoon Fairy Tale is fine.
yeah.
It's very
I watched.
personal. I know that it has its big fans, and from what I see of this game, those people are probably very happy.
And I'm happy for
because
those
this looks
people.
like a decent, just turn-based RPG with the fairy tale story and characters.
Yeah, I got to at the end of, I can't remember which arc I watched up to, but I got to the end of that and I was like, there's still more? I could have watched all of Gurren Lagann again at this point, and then I stopped watching.
Yeah,
What happened next?
I
Oh,
haven't
sorry,
really
go ahead.
played anime games. I don't think
Me
I've
neither.
played literally any.
Literally.
But you know, I'm happy whoever this game is for that they
Yeah,
have
shout
this
out
game
to
coming.
all 6 of Fairy Tales fans. Huge day for you guys. Happy for you.
Famously, the fairy tale community
Is
minuscule.
tiny
Very little itty bitty.
tiny and close knit. Yeah.
Okay, next up we
Happened
got
next?
what is this? Fantasia.
Fantasian Neo Dimension.
That's the one. Holiday
That was-
2024.
That was one of the first games that Corey, when we were watching together this morning, was like, "Ooh,
Yeah, we will be buying, because this is
we."
by the creator, or not like the creator of, but by like the main guys behind Final Fantasy. So like,
Yes.
the guy who's been like the lead design behind a lot of the older games, and Nobuo
Mhm.
Uematsu, who of course does the music. And yeah, I think it looks really fun. The combat system looks interesting and engaging. It reminds me of like a 3DS game.
Yeah.
Like this looks like it would have been a contemporary of like Bravely Default.
Mhm.
Turns out that this is actually like a remake of a mobile game, which kind
Yeah.
of makes sense. But it
Okay.
looks good.
We were both kind of surprised by that. We were like, this is definitely one of those mobile games where you look at it and you're like, really? Mobile
Yeah, I was
That's
telling
impressive.
Jason, there's two kinds of mobile games that get turned into like real video games. It's the ones that you look at and you say, "Oh, this is a mobile game,"
They put this
and then
on
the
a
ones that you
console.
look at and you're like, "This is a mobile game."
Yeah. We love the latter.
There
Yeah,
was definitely, I will say, when I watched your video, Sam, on the Cozy Direct, and there were a few of those games that fell very hard into the former.
Very-
Where I was like, oh,
Yeah, some of them do.
tugging at the collar. Ooh. Good on them though. Good on them for getting out there and making games, trying to make a name for
Honestly,
themselves.
yeah.
Keep up the good work.
More than I've done.
Yeah, more video games than I've made. More
Uh,
spot the difference games than I have under my belt.
So next up, we've got the Switch Sports is adding basketball this summer. My
I have not played a sports game on a Nintendo console since the one that came packaged with the Wii.
Here is the deal. This is a good thing, but way too late. When Nintendo replaced Mii's when they were creating this game, and they made these little weird avatars, they needed to have like twice as many sports available when they launched the game. But instead they just like they had what they had, and then they've trickled out golf and now basketball.
yeah.
We don't
Also-
need
For a mediocre game, it's like it's not enough.
we
Yeah.
don't need you Switch Sports. We have Ring Fit now.
I will be
With
playing
wheels
Switch
on.
Sports regardless.
I won't.
I will play some
yeah.
basketball to see how it is.
I think for me, the thing about Switch Sports is just that none of the games individually are as engaging as, like, in particular, baseball and boxing were on Wii Sports.
Everything on Wii
Mhm.
Sports was so different from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it all felt very, like, responsive and just, like, fun. They all felt like
Intuitive, yeah.
they all felt like games that you could have bought individually for like $5, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the basketball edition looks good. You said it was a free update, right?
Yes, it is.
So
That's
that's good. They should add like a trash talk button.
They kind of do. It's because you have these emotes that you can do, and
One of the emotes just pops up the words "get bent."
but you can like you can gain more emotes as you play,
Smoked.
and so some of them get you can like do crying face or something to people
Nice.
who like did a poor job at something. Like,
It's something-
you missed the basket, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo, sucks to be you, loser. It's one of those things where we were talking about like it needed more games. That's a problem I have. It doesn't happen too terribly often, but it does happen on occasion with Nintendo games where I'm like, man, this game should have launched with like twice as much stuff in it. That happened with the last Mario Party. I was like, there's like what, 4 or 5 maps? It's like there should be twice as many. I want more wackadoodle boards.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that.
just you wait.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the soiree
All right.
later.
Next up, we have Mio Memories in Orbit, which is coming out in 2025.
Don't mind me, I'm just opening Google.
They-
Memories.
I am excited for
Yeah,
this
this looked good.
Metroidvania looking thing. Lovely art direction.
Oh, I love a nice little art style.
A little lamp thing.
Yeah. Really, really good looking trailer. Very cinematic. I noticed this is one of the few trailers that had like no talking over it.
I loved it.
This feels like it's going for a very specific audience, which is
Me.
like the Hollow Knight audience or the Ori audience or
Don't bring up Hollow Knight right now. We're still in mourning. It's too.
oh well,
The wounds are so fresh.
or like most
The
recently,
wounds are
like,
always
I feel like-
fresh.
I feel like Animal Well kind of falls into this genre as well, of just like kind of a mysterious, atmospheric Metroidvania.
Yeah. Funny little Metroid game.
We love those.
We played. It's actually like almost identical to Girl and the Robot.
Ooh. Okay, moving right along, we
next?
got a Disney Illusion Island update, which
Ooh.
came out today. That's
Mickey Mouse. First of all,
any either of you play Disney Illusion Island?
I
I
can't remember
didn't.
the last time I played a Disney game. I think it was Aladdin on my Nana's SNES.
Great. Corey?
No, I haven't played it. It does look good, but
Yeah.
just like
Which Mickey is it? Who voices him?
I don't know if they have voices in the
Mickey-
game.
Mickey
Oh,
Mouse.
weird.
It looks like the Mickey Mouse from those shorts that we really like, where he goes, "Whoa!"
Mick Mouse.
Oh yeah, the funny one.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now an important piece here. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is coming out in
Dude.
2025
Dude, you joke.
to Nintendo Switch as a timed
You joke.
exclusive.
You joke, but I have Twitter mutuals that are losing their fucking minds.
You say I joke, but in my notes here I have written, honestly, looks like a great cozy game.
Oh yeah, no, it looks really good.
As you said, we're on the computer. Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Visually, it's giving Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Like specifically the most recent one.
Visually, it's serving Animal Crossing.
One of the animals on my island in New
Is
Horizons
Hello Kitty.
is
Which one?
That-
well,
is
no,
that-
it is a Twal.
That crossover.
Yeah, it is.
then
It is
which
one
one
of the
is
Sanrio characters. Anything
Yeah.
else you have to say about that?
No, it looks cute. It looks good.
Great. Okay.
Cool.
Looney Tunes, Wacky World of Sports, coming out fall of this year.
Was this the one that Corey said looked ugly?
Yeah, it is.
It does not look
It doesn't
pretty.
look very good.
I hated when Porky Pig showed up in the Looney Tunes background at the end of that trailer.
Their eyes
Ugh.
don't look right. Like the eyelids. Like, you know how like when a Mario or a Sonic character opens their eye all the way, the eyelid disappears?
Yeah.
These guys still have eyelids at like the bottom of their eye when their eye is open, and it looks weird.
Incorrect.
They
It
should,
looks like they're all like sleep deprived.
yeah, they should stick to playing basketball with Michael Jordan in the 90s.
This is.
I
this
think
is
that's
very
where it should have
much,
stopped.
like, this is very much we couldn't make a Space Jam video game, so here's this. It also, like, the title especially reminds me of something that would come out in, like, the 90s. Like, the
It looks like it came out in the 90s.
Wacky World of Sports featuring the Looney Tunes. That came out on the Super Nintendo.
It feels like it should have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, given where Warner Brothers is right now, I am entirely unsurprised.
Got him. Next up,
got him. Take that, billion-dollar company.
They gotta win back all that good favor after they unpatched multiverses.
After they made multiverses 50% slower, actually.
speaking of updates, we got Among Us has an update available today.
Man, I wish we were still playing Among Us. That was fun. I liked that period.
Let's hop back in. I probably won't be
Right
playing it on
now?
Nintendo Switch, but
No, probably
No,
not.
probably not.
yeah,
It's cool when games like this just get like frequent updates. New roles is cool.
I do like that.
They snuck in a sus in the trailer.
Yeah.
They were like, suss things out for yourself when it comes to Nintendo Switch, and I was like, you.
Sus, and Corey immediately started making horrific, realistic ape noises in the mic.
real sneaky. Also, thanks to Among Us for leaking the date of this Nintendo Direct so that everybody knew when it was.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Among Us.
This is a
Honestly,
little off topic. This is a
Okay.
little off topic, but I think it is
It's okay. We talked about the
Nuts.
wizard earlier.
in
Yeah.
a weird way. Yeah, that was perfectly on topic. We were talking about Nintendo Championships. I think it's nuts in a weird way that I remember playing. I can't remember what the developer of Among Us is called right now. Here, hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
Among Us is made by Inner Sloth.
That's the one.
Inner Sloth. And I remember when, because Inner Sloth is like a guy, or it was at one point.
Shout out to
And
that
I
one
remember
guy.
when they were making like Newgrounds games, like Escape the Prison and that type of thing.
Nothing has ever made more sense to me than in this moment when you said, "Oh yeah, Inner Sloth used to make Newground games."
And it's amazing to me that the same person or people that made the funny games I used to play during lunch break at high school, now their product is in a Nintendo Direct.
It's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I,
Kind of really cool.
I, even though I don't really play Among Us very often, I am a very firm supporter of Among Us just because everything they do, like company-wise, from like the free updates and stuff like that, is like that's cool of them to do that, and I will support them for doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited for their next thing, their next game.
Among Us 2.
Among Us 2.
Okay. Next we have how do you say this? Farmagia? Farmagia?
Yeah, one of those probably.
Okay. 1st of November 2024. This is the game where you plant animals and harvest them to go Monster Hunter Quest with your quadrupedal crops.
La Fromagia.
Farm. You're gonna farm.
The country it takes
farm your
place in
animals.
is called Felicidad, which is funny.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Feliz Navidad.
This is
Feliz Navidad.
This game looks funny.
It looks interesting. It looks like a concept that I would really enjoy. The art style is not selling me on it at all.
No.
No.
I don't like how it looks.
This is
Sam,
another
you said-
one where,
sad.
unfortunately, like the 3D models, or maybe it's just like the shading. I don't know. The in-game models look kind of ugly, and then the like drawn versions of the characters just look like very generic anime.
Yeah,
And it's like,
boring. You
Yeah,
bore
it's
me.
it's just not my thing.
Mhm.
Jason, you were saying
It was-
something?
It was one of those things that like the bit started and I said ooh, and then the longer it went on, That ooh changed to kind of an oh.
Yeah, like this needed, and I don't know. This is probably like part of some series that has been doing the same thing for a long time, or I don't know. I don't know any of the history of this game. It's probably a small developer, relatively speaking. But this concept, I feel, needs like weird creature designs. Like it needs Pokemon or Monster Rancher or Digimon type
Dragon's
creatures.
Quest or something
Yeah,
like
not
that.
just
Yeah.
Fox Wolf that grows from corn.
Yeah, like they're all the ones that we saw in the trailer are just like wolves, and then they combine to make like a generic dragon. Like that would be a different thing. Is if they showed off like here you've got like a pack of wolves and you combine them and they make like a big werewolf guy, or you can get a bunch of slimes and they make like a big slime. But if you combine the wolves and the slime, you get something different. It's like if they showed off like stuff like that would make a concept like this really pop.
Yeah,
I get that that's a lot of extra work, and they probably just
didn't have the
didn't
time
have
or
the
energy.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting concept that ultimately I don't think I'm going to be checking out.
I hope it does good enough that it can be expanded on and improved in the future. But I will not be seeking out the game.
Yeah. I
It
think
does
I'm
not
on the same.
interest me.
I think I'm on the same boat there.
Good luck to them, though. I
Yeah.
hope that it does well.
Moving on, we have Donkey Kong Country Returns HD coming out on the 16th of January, 2025. This is
Not
the
Donkey-
buddy.
Not
Third
the Donkey Kong news.
this
Not
is
the
the
Donkey Kong news I
third
wanted.
time. The third time Donkey Kong Country has returned.
Maybe they should just make a new game.
It did not return on
Ooh.
the Wii U. So that's the one that it missed. It came
Yeah,
out-
I was gonna say like this should have been on Switch like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The moment they put Funky Kong in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong should have returned again.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have it now, though. I'm definitely going to be checking this out because I've heard DKC Returns is one of the best games in that series. I saw they said that it includes bonus levels from the 3DS version, which presumably have never been on a full console release before, and it's all going to be updated graphics. So that's cool that it's like a definitive version of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know why when the trailer first started, it was like, oh, it's a Donkey Kong game, and I got really hopeful that it was going to be a remake of Jungle Beat. Weirdly enough.
I'd be down for a new Donkey Kong game, though.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. I was like, oh yeah, new Donkey Kong. There was no new Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
We'll probably spend like an hour at the end of this being like, there wasn't this game, there wasn't this game, there wasn't this game.
I wonder if they'll ever go back to trying to make Donkey Kong into a 3D platformer, because they haven't done that since the 64, and it's divisive, but it definitely has a strong fan base.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could
Food
work.
for thought.
The Country series is really good, and Tropical Freeze is a really good game with striking visuals, and I think that they
More
really
people should play it.
they really can just like keep going on with this series as it is, and I think it'll be fine, but it would be interesting to see them hopping back into like the 3D option, or even trying something different with Donkey Kong like they did in the GameCube era.
Tune in 2026 for Donkey Kong Goes to Florida.
Watch out. Donkey Konga 3. We skipped 2 because didn't need it.
Look out in 2077 when the next original Donkey Kong game will come out, and it is a dating sim.
Kiss these monkey lips. Okay.
What happened next?
Next we got Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake coming out November 14th, 2024.
Here's what
I
I
am
will say.
very excited about this.
Here's what I'll say. I am not like a JRPG player. I don't know if I've ever actually played a JRPG for more than like 30 minutes or anything like that.
You beat Undertale.
That doesn't count. Uh, I saw I saw that trailer where they're like, we're doing Dragon's Quest 1 through 3 again, remake. And they look excellent. And I was like, I, for the first time, might play a Dragon's Quest game.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited to play a Dragon's Quest game now.
These games are fantastic. This is the best looking an HD 2D game has ever appeared to me.
Oh yes, I literally
'Cause,
have.
like,
I have
people-
never enjoyed the look of HD 2D until I saw these, and I was like, "Oh, this is
That's
what
what
I
you
want
do.
it to look like."
Yeah, like people are always telling me about how great Octopath Traveler is, and I'm sure it is, but I don't want to play it because it looks like doggy diarrhea. This looks amazing. It's colorful. The 3D environments are like so clearly, lovingly rendered.
Octopath Traveler looks like a 2D sprite based game where they took the lighting dial and they like turned it way too high.
Yeah,
Borderline overexposed.
but yeah, and like the history of Dragon Quest and Dragon Quest 3 in particular is like vital, crucial to the JRPG genre. Like whenever you see like an isekai anime where it's like, the hero has to defeat the demon lord and gather his companions, it's what they are parodying is specifically Dragon Quest and specifically Dragon Quest 3. Like it's had such an impact on popular culture. It's the reason why Final Fantasy exists. Final Fantasy 1 was an attempt to like carry on the back of Dragon Quest 3's success in Japan. So yeah, I'm very excited for this game.
And the artwork goes hard. That was so good.
Shout out to Akira Toriyama, God rest.
Man.
Akira Toriyama, like he always gets remembered as the Dragon Ball guy, but he is a phenomenal fantasy artist as well. I think some of his favorite character designs of mine are just the various monsters he's created for Dragon Quest and also like to populate his own manga. That man loves drawing a cool sword.
Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about this earlier. It's like, man, I wish this game had. When we were talking about the weird grow your own Pokemon game, it's like I wish this game had more like wackadoodle monster designs. I wish that for most games. I'm like, man, if only someone like a Toriyama type did the designs for these monsters, because man, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So we got Dragon Quest 3 coming in November, and then we got 1 and 2 coming out in 2025.
I love the fact that we immediately knew there were more Dragon's Quest because they were like, "Here's Dragon's Quest 3," and then they held on that image just a little too long, and we were like,
and then they zoom out and reveal like the full painting of the three of them.
Yeah,
the greatest Dragon's Quest
such a good image. I might make that my desktop wallpaper for a while.
It's a good image.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, my notes here say since there was no footage shown of Dragon Quest 1 and 2, those probably are going to be coming quite a bit later.
2025, baby.
Which is perfect because the correct play order, if you care, is 3, then 1, then 2, because 3 is a prequel. Also, something I had written down is I wonder if this version of Dragon Quest 3 will still have like all of the because and I don't know if this was in the NES version or not, because the version that I always played as a kid was the Game Boy Color version, and that had like a whole like personality system. You took like a personality quiz at the beginning of the game, and whatever personality you got determined what your stats were.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a super cool game.
Huh. All right. Well, let's move on to less
Funko
wonderful
Fortnite
pastures.
at Freddy's.
Yep, Funko Fusion is coming out 13th of September this year.
Speaking of games that are hard to look at,
I can't stand. I do not
Can't
like
believe
how
I can't
Funko
believe-
Pops look.
I can't believe we got Freddy Fazbear in Funko Pop, whatever it's called, Funko Fun Time or whatever.
Listen, okay,
The scariest he's ever been.
it's cool. Okay, so it's kind of cool to have like all these properties like in a game that you can play. That's cool, but
It is.
Lego,
Okay,
Lego.
Okay, you know what?
Play a
so
Lego
here's my
game
thing.
instead.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Is like, you know what people who think this looks kind of neat should play? They should play Lego Dimensions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's literally it.
I've never been a fan of Funko Pops because I feel like they fall a little too hard into like the sort of like consumer mindset.
They're
Where it's
just,
just like we're just gonna pump out everything constantly with an
Right.
art style that I personally am not a fan of. And it's like there are so many better like vinyl figures of the things you enjoy that you could collect.
right. That's my thing. Is that like Funko Pops? Like, I don't hate them with the same passion that some people do.
There are
'Cause I
some
know
people
some
who
people that are
loathe
like-
them.
But it's just they're always gonna be like the ugliest, lowest quality version of a
Mhm.
figure you can get.
Yeah.
It's not even like an option for like, oh, I like this character and they don't have any other figurine. It's like, no, they are gonna have something else because Funko only does like really popular mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're ugly looking, they're not very posable. Like a
Mhm.
lot of people who collect Funko Pops don't even take them out of the box because there's no reason to.
It's also sometimes with the Funko Pops, it's especially if it's just like a human person, it's kind of hard to discern who they're supposed to be if they're not in the box that has their name on it.
And you, dear
Exactly.
viewer, if you enjoy Funko Pops,
Get bent.
okay. Good for you, but I don't like them. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like Funko Pops, but I would never like go over to someone who like really enjoyed them and had like a full collection. I would never say to them like,
Oh,
Did
I
you
can't believe you collected all this trash.
"Oh, this garbage."
Yeah,
True late stage capitalism consumer mindset.
like just
Now, what I might say is that's a lot of Funko Pops. You must make a lot of money.
that
Yeah,
is
I
the
have
correct
some-
response. Where'd you get all that money?
I'm gonna
This-
introduce you to Nendoroids.
This has got to be like very strange, Sam, because I know that your vibes on like all of your social media and YouTube platforms is like mostly pretty positive. And then whenever Jason and I come on here, we're just like, man, this sucks.
I don't like
There's
Funko
any
Pops. Listen,
haters.
I will do the opposite of defend. What is that? Attack? I will attack Funko Pops freely.
I'm gonna play one
I do not care.
step and end my turn against Funko Pops.
Oh boy. Yeah, no,
Anyways, before I move on, buy Nendoroids instead.
Buy anything. Like honestly, my
Get a print.
recommendation is that you have
commission an artist,
if
commission an
you have a
independent
character
artist.
that if you have a character that you really love, like there is an artist out there of your fandom, go and commission them and get like a print or a sticker or like a standee of your favorite character, and that's going to mean so much more to you than a Funko Pop or like a mass-produced figurine ever will. That's my 2 cents.
Go on
it.
Twitter, search commissions open, and then scroll through the people that show up and find someone whose art you like, and then commission them.
Anyways, we've stoked the fires of my constant burning hatred deep in
Okay.
my blackened soul.
Great, let's
What's
move.
next?
Next is Luigi's Mansion 2 HD coming out the 27th
Dang
of
it.
this month.
I can't hate on Luigi's Mansion. He's such a sweet boy.
Mansion.
This is the worst Luigi's Mansion game.
There's only 3 of them.
I know, this is the worst one. It's not
If
bad.
anything,
It's
it just takes bronze.
it's a
Are,
yeah.
are the other Luigi's Mansion games already on Switch? Like, is
Yes.
Luigi's
That's a
Mansion 1 on
great
Switch?
that's a great question, Corey. That no, the first one is not on Switch. The first
Is
one
it
was
Why?
the first one was
Why did they
remade
do-
for the 3DS back in 2018, I think it was. So after the Switch had released, they remade it for the 3DS.
Oh yeah, that's weird as hell.
Which is stupid, and I don't understand why we are getting a remake of Luigi's Mansion 2
Well,
on the Switch
at least
without
there
Luigi's
is-
Mansion 1.
At least there is. Hey. It
Okay.
may be on an older console, but at least that remake of Luigi's Mansion is available and will always remain available.
Oh, I've heard
Nintendo. Yeah, through piracy, the proper way to play
Oh,
old Nintendo
man.
games. Anyways, pirate old Nintendo games.
hey now.
I'm gonna get your channel removed by end of year at
Oh,
this rate,
no.
so you better move on.
the ninjas are gonna come for me.
I'm excited to subscribe to Niffian 2.
Okay, so that's there. Next we got the new Denpa Men coming out on the 22nd of
Man.
July this year.
Corey and I were both like, man, that game looks fun. Shame about the stupid name.
These
Yeah,
guys,
this
these guys are
similar
so
to-
weird.
similar to La Fromagia or whatever it was called.
Uh-huh.
I think this looks like a genre of game that I would really enjoy because I always like Sam. You did like the Cozy Direct, and you guys are both very into Animal Crossing, and I always think that I want to get into like a nice relaxing like farming or like town building game, but I always get bored, and I'm like, I wish I could combine that with like an RPG because that's my favorite style of game.
Yeah.
And it's like this is that, but it's the playable dudes are just weird little tingle men, and I don't like it.
Yeah, they're so weird. There was a 3DS Denpa Men, I think, and
I think Denpa Men was a mobile game originally.
Well, that would have been the old Denpa Men.
Yeah, these are
This
the
is the
new
new
ones.
Denpa Men.
They look great. I think they're funny.
I wish they all weren't wearing like one color onesies.
That's
like
what
Ethan
makes
Beck.
them great. That's the.
Put on
that's
some
the
real
bit.
clothes. This isn't 2006 and the Harlem Shake isn't a thing anymore.
They're having a great time.
I
What's,
hate
what's
that.
your take on Teletubbies, Sam?
Point made. Moving on. Next up we
They
got.
don't even have TVs in their stomachs. They can't even watch a kid call in from Britain and talk about their dog for 5 minutes
That's
straight.
true. That's true. Next up we got Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, available today.
Man, I wish they were just making another Metal Slug game.
Me too, but this looks good for what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I like Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah.
The last like
yeah,
shooter
it's-
game that I played was Wild Guns on the Super Nintendo,
Oh, Guns is so good.
which is
We're
so
not gonna,
good.
We're not going to talk about that because unfortunately there was no Wild Guns announcement.
No,
You in heap
Uh,
big trouble.
I would love to play a new Wild Guns game.
But no, this looks fine, and I'm always happy to see that Metal Slug is persisting because that feels again like a piece of gaming history that is still being carried forward.
Preserve it. Let people play it. I think that's a good idea. Nintendo.
Man, the Metal Slug art style is so good.
There was a port of like the arcade game a while back. I don't know. I don't think it's on Switch. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I played it on PlayStation.
Who knows?
I wish I had more information. This is very professional what we're doing here.
So professional. We have multiple bachelor's degrees among all
Among
of us.
Us?
Oh,
Ah!
oh my god!
Uh,
I'd like to, before we move on, we were talking about Wild Guns, and I accidentally made a Sunset Riders reference, so I'd like to formally apologize before we move on.
Thank you for
Cancel
that.
him.
No, please.
DM him on Twitter and tell him why he's bad.
I don't even think I think my DMs are open actually.
Oh,
Maybe
better go
Part of
close
the
them.
messages- Yeah. And throw Jason's
okay,
Twitter
yeah.
at up on screen.
Here's the
So you
Twitter
can
at.
get a lot of messages from FunkoFan69.
Send all of your rage comments to this person here.
Post my full home address.
Put it in the post.
Put it in the
PO
post.
box.
Send all pipe bombs to
Following that,
Ham Tornado.
we got a Darkest Dungeon 2
What is
Yeah.
it?
coming out on the 15th of July
Darkest
this year.
Dungeon 2.
Oh, I've never played them.
I'm not a big
I
roguelike
played-
guy.
I played a little bit of Darkest Dungeon 1. It's just not necessarily my thing. I enjoy a roguelike now and again. I really liked Inscription.
Inscription is great.
Yeah. I
I
will
think-
I will say that this is kind of a lackluster announcement, just in the sense that I feel like anyone who really wanted to be playing Darkest Dungeon 2 is already playing it on PC.
Yeah.
But I guess you can take it with you now. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, play it on the plane.
Yeah.
I think the thing. I
Or
don't
if
mind
you
it,
had a
the
Steam Deck, you
occasional-
could do that anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Not legally. I think the thing, because I don't mind the occasional roguelike. I think the thing about Darkest Dungeon that always turned me off was I'm just not huge on like that super dark kind of gothic meme, which is
oh, see, I
entirely a
love that
personal thing.
aesthetic. That aesthetic.
I think it's a cool aesthetic from like a 10-foot pole's distance away.
Right.
I'm like, that's cool, and I love that artwork. It is very much, I acknowledge, something that I would not enjoy playing.
Yeah. Not for me either.
But that's for me, because I'm a little wimp.
But it's good. It's good for anybody who wants to play it on the
Good
Switch.
for any of you Darkest Dungeon enjoyers out
Yeah,
there.
go enjoy it. Next up, we got the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack releases. Today, we've got Zelda: A Link to the Past and Four Swords, Metroid Zero
on 'em.
Mission,
Nice.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and Perfect Dark.
Corey was like a kid in a candy store when they said Turok and Perfect
Yeah,
Dark.
Those
I have great memories of Turok. It's probably a really bad game if I look back on it now. But like many things from the N64 era, it's like there was a certain point in my life where I was like, wow, this is the best that video games will ever be.
Yeah, we were all there. I remember going to a friend's house and playing Mario Kart 64 and being like, I can't believe it looks like this. So cool.
And now I'm playing Final Fantasy Rebirth, and you can see the individual strands of Cloud's hair for no reason.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You can see all of the wonderful details.
These were great great additions to Nintendo Switch
Oh, yeah.
Online.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think in particular,
4 bangers right here.
Four Swords and Perfect Dark benefit a lot from the fact that you can play with people online.
Yeah.
Because previously, like, it was a lot more difficult to play these games with other people. And so it's cool that you can do that now.
I am very, 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 very hopeful that should Nintendo decide to go with the direction of making a Switch 2, a Nintendo Switch Up, if you will,
Yeah.
that they keep the access to the Nintendo Online, like
I have
Like
to imagine that
libraries
they
that they've-
will.
Hmm.
Because
maybe.
when they went from the Wii to the Wii U, they maintained the same virtual console.
Mhm.
So I think as long as it's within the same family of hardware, and like it's reasonable to do so,
Mhm.
especially because they're adding new titles this late in the game. Like I don't think they
Yeah.
would be doing this if they were going to discontinue that service in like less than 12 months.
They've put
Sure.
so much time and effort into creating and cultivating the Nintendo Switch online branding that I can't see them just like throwing it out the window for their next console. What happens next? We got Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero coming out in 2025.
I don't know what that is.
This is that cute-looking tactics RPG where the main girl, she like communicates with
yeah, the ghost
and, and yeah, she like ghost tricks things into fighting. It looks neat.
It looks neat.
This looks like this would be a good game for someone who, in theory, likes the idea of playing like an XCOM or a Fire Emblem game, but they just don't want it to be very high stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like me.
Yeah, I don't have that much to say about it other than that.
Looks cute.
It looks cute. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about it too.
Cute XCOM is an excellent sort of niche to fill.
Next up, we got something for Corey. We got Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics coming out this year.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of background because I know that you guys are not as into fighting games as I am. And granted, in the grand scheme of things, I am also like an amateur novice.
Yeah.
But these are some of the most beloved Capcom fighting games in the community. And a bunch of them, up until now, did not have functional updated ports.
Okay.
Like MVC2, I think you could play on like the PlayStation and the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bunch of the others, like they were either they had a home port, but it was like functionally quite different than what was on the arcade, or there was just no home port at all. Like something like the Punisher beat 'em up, like that was only ever an arcade machine. They didn't make a home port version.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to play it and you didn't own an arcade, like your options were basically to emulate it, and that's it. That there was no other recourse. And it was that way with Children of the Atom for a long time. I think Marvel Superheroes did have like an Xbox 360 version, or something like that. That it had like something somewhat more recent. But the fact that all of these games are in one package and they're on a modern system, I know a bunch of people are going to be really happy about this. I've already seen some reaction videos from people in the community that are going nuts. And it's cool because it means that we're going to start seeing some of these games at like conventions and tournaments as an event, because now you can officially play them without an arcade cabinet, and that's really cool.
That's exciting. We love it. We love bringing back gaming history and like putting it into a place where people can actually use it. It's great.
Shout out to the classics.
Next up, we got here Super Mario Party Jamboree coming out October 17th of this year.
It was as soon as it was announced, like, oh, new Mario Party. It was like, well, there's like $60 down the drain, guaranteed.
One thing,
I'm not gonna get the game, and I'm not gonna play it with you guys.
Right.
Like, come on.
The thing about this is it is a sequel to Super Mario Party,
which I really enjoyed.
which was good. The game boards were kind of lacking in that one, but from what I've seen on this one, the game boards
these game boards look great.
Oh, the racetrack one?
The racetrack looks
Oh!
interesting. The mall looks really fun. I don't know about like the gimmick for Goomba Lagoon, but I do know that it's called Goomba Lagoon.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I want to live there.
Let me get a vacation home. What's that gonna cost me?
I need to buy
What's a timeshare in Goomba Lagoon?
Timeshare, my summer home on Goomba Lagoon. Also, the title's really good. Jason, I think you pointed this out to me when we watched it live. That Mario Party Jamboree is a great title.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's great.
Screw numbers. Start adding in funny words.
Some features that I thought were interesting to call attention to. They do have classic game boards.
Yeah.
Which
Like,
to
yeah,
me
the old
suggests, because Super Mario Party and Mario Party All Stars were on the same engine.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this has new content and classic content together makes me wonder if they're going to do updates in such a way that you're going to have both types of games in one package, which would be really cool.
That would be great.
There's a Mario Party Royale mode.
Yeah, like 20-man Mario Party.
Which is fantastic.
It popped up on screen, and I was like immediately overstimulated. I just had my head in my hands, and I was like, ugh.
I can't imagine, like, they have to like sort people into groups for the mini games, right?
Yeah.
Or do they design mini games for up to 20 people?
Oh, and then you're limited to those specific mini games when you play that mode.
Well, and like
work.
as people get eliminated, then you would start switching in some of them.
Yeah.
More normal mini games.
I also
and I guess once it's down to 2 people, you would just fight a duel. Is basically what it would be. I don't know.
It's like a quick draw mini game.
I like this trend of taking games that aren't just shooters and making them into battle royale games, because I think that the battle royale mode is a really fun concept. I don't like playing shooters, and I'm bad at them, so I like when other games do this kind of thing.
I was online earlier, and I didn't see very many people talking about like generally how excited they were for Super Mario Party Jamboree. I saw a lot more people talk about the render on like the cover of Daisy chasing Waluigi with a hammer.
That's a pretty good render.
I think I saw the caption of like, "Wonderful, she's going to kill him."
You go.
Well deserved.
I also want to point out. Oh, sorry, Sam.
Yeah. I was gonna say the mini games, like in Super Mario Party, you had to play it with a single Joy-Con on its side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that this sequel that you can play with a regular controller, and
that'd be so
and
nice.
still do some of the things. But
I don't think that's likely, just because they already showed off that
I know
they're gonna have some of the same motion control type games, which the Pro
I
Controller
saw for one of them. Yeah,
the Pro Controller just can't do that as well. Like, there's a little bit of the gyro motion with the Pro Controller, but like the Super Mario Party had like a mini game where you had to cook all the sides of a cube steak.
Yeah, and I loved that. That was a great game to use the one Joy-Con for, but like,
yeah, no notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a little bit of a pain sometimes when you just want to be pushing a button.
Yeah.
I wanted to call attention to something that they said twice. They said it once in the narration over the trailer, and then the guy like hosting the direct also said it, which is that this is the biggest Mario Party in series history. That is a promise that they are making.
And I hope they keep to it, because, man, I'd love... We were just talking about this. I wish Mario Party games had more maps.
Which, like, even if they don't just mean in terms of maps, like, if you look at Super Mario Party and you look at Mario Party All-Stars on the Switch, like, both of those games are pretty big. There's quite a bit of content in them. And this is supposed to be even bigger. And I imagine, like I said, I am predicting that this is going to have, like, expansions in the form of either free updates or some kind of paid DLC.
I would hope for that, at least.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'm glad it's coming out this year. That's
Yeah,
good.
take like the Mario Kart approach, where it's like, yeah, here's twice as many maps.
Oh man, and
Ugh.
that works. Like
And that
nobody's
works.
nobody's really been complaining. Like some people have been like, oh, haha, when are we getting a new Mario Kart? But like really, anyone who plays Mario Kart is not complaining about the fact that we've had the same one
Yeah.
for this long because they
Yeah.
keep giving it updates, they keep putting in new content.
Boot it up.
And
Go
it's
play it.
now, like,
If
So
the
much
game
there.
is
now,
good,
like-
if the game is good and you just give it little tweaks and updates every now and then, people will keep playing it forever.
Yeah, I wish they were doing that with Animal Crossing.
That would be great if they
C'est
just
la
kept
vie.
doing it. No, too bad. Anyway, moving
I'm
along.
excited for the next one.
We got a certified banger over here. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom coming out the
Now
26th of September
that's-
2024.
That's
Now-
a video game.
Before we get into discussion on this, I just want to read a handful of tweets that were just happened to align in a row on my timeline.
Yeah, great. Go
Yeah,
for it.
go ahead. Recycle content for Sam's channel, why
Yep,
don't you?
Yep.
Wait. Are we playing as Zelda? Finally, an actual Zelda game, LMFAO? A new Zelda? Playable Princess Zelda Key Smash? Zelda game? Finally, The Legend of Zelda? Playable Zelda? Zelda? And that's it.
Those were in a row on your feed?
Yeah.
What's funny?
That's
what's funny is
exceptional!
I had the exact same thing, except it was people making like more like the Legend of Link, just in a row.
Just a worse joke, yeah.
Yeah, just
The
in-
Legend of Link was trending on Twitter.
yeah.
Like, people are going nuts for this game, and rightfully so. It looks awesome.
It's the first, if I remember correctly, this is like the first, like, Legend of Zelda game where you can play as Zelda since, like, the CDI. Like,
Yes.
there's Hyrule Warriors where you can play as her, I'm sure. I've never played one, but...
I don't think you can play as any character other than Link in literally every Zelda game.
Yeah.
Not including the CDI games, of course.
Yeah, like mainline Zelda games, you're always Link.
I hope Zelda keeps her bitchy personality from the CDI games. That's what I want.
You
the little toy Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh man, this game. Okay, so I am a big fan of this Echo mechanic,
Yeah.
and it looks like such a fun, like experimenty way for people to play the
I
game
saw
the
someone
way they
describe
want
it
to
as-
play it.
I saw someone describe it as open air 2D Zelda,
Yeah.
and I think that's a great way of putting it. It like reminds me a bit of what they were doing with Tears of the Kingdom. It kind of gave me like a little bit of like there was a little bit of a Minecraft vibe from specifically like the water blocks,
Mhm.
but also just like open-ended problem solving with the fact that you can just make copies of objects and enemies and put them to work,
Put them to work.
which is awesome. This is Sam. You and I had a conversation not long ago how like I don't actually care for a lot of the top-down Zeldas, just because I don't like the way that the sword fighting kind of controls. It never
Mhm.
really feels like I'm. It never really feels like I'm confidently defeating enemies. Like it just kind of. I don't know. It's probably a skill issue. It's probably on my end.
When I was watching this trailer, I was thinking about that exact conversation. I was like, "This has got to scratch that itch for that Corey
This
was
is
talking
totally
about."
different, and it looks really fun.
One thing
Something I noticed in the trailer is that Zelda makes like a staircase of like beds and like a trampoline at the top. But what I noticed about that scene is that she's climbing over the wall to get into Gerudo Town.
When she's a woman,
Which, couldn't she just walk in the gate?
that's what I thought too. Maybe it's more than just sexist. Maybe they are also
They're on lockdown.
yeah.
Racist. It reminded Corey a bit of Minecraft. It reminded...
A dirty Hillian.
It reminded Corey a bit of Minecraft. It reminded me a little bit of like something like Scribble Knots or something, where it's just like
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's a good pull as well.
you just got
Where
all
you're-
this stuff, and it's like let's do wackadoodle stuff with it.
Where it's like, oh no, the big guy.
Also, the
Oh,
fact that you can
And
kill
then you
enemies.
pull out your notebook and you write Cyborg Superman, and then there he is.
Godzilla. One
Uh,
thing will. Go ahead, Corey.
just another like possibly a story detail that I noticed is that after the initial like opening cutscene where Link gets eaten by the Smoos, uh,
Speaking of good pulls, sick
Zelda, when
is
she
my
leaves
Pokemon.
Town with the staff, she is always wearing a hood over her head,
Mhm.
which to me indicates that she's kind of being incognito, which might also explain that might also help with like NPC interactions so that they aren't like, oh, well, you are the princess. I guess we should just give you things.
Yeah.
Right.
I imagine it's going to be a thing of like, you there, girl.
You there, woman.
Come build me an IKEA bookshelf.
You got it. One thing I will
Excellent.
say that I'm incredibly happy about in terms of recent Nintendo, and we've kind of brought this up earlier, is I like the fact that, especially in like the Zelda and especially in the like the Mario world, Nintendo seems to be giving like new chances for kind of previously failed projects and ideas to come back. Like they've given Peach a new game despite the fact that the first one was terrible and no one played it. They're giving Zelda a new game despite the fact that like no one liked the CDI games. I like the fact that they're like bringing back Mario RPG and Thousand Year Door and now a new Mario and Luigi game. I like the fact that they're letting you play as Daisy in like a mainstream 2D Mario.
Let people play as women.
Let people play as women.
Yeah,
Yes.
let us play as women in the games, please.
I do really like that. Like they're like, yeah, let's like it's been a long time since Peach got her own game, since Zelda got her own game, since we did Mario RPG and stuff like that. Let's try again.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like there's always like the people had this discourse with like the Persona 3 remake of like, it sucks that you don't have the option to play as the girl character, and like other people like whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's like, I think it does. I think it's cool to have options, and I think it's important that like more and more women are playing video games. Like,
Yeah.
it's becoming much less of a male-dominated hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and I
And
think
more just
that
like a generally accepted
the
hobby.
games should reflect that.
But
Amen.
I think the thing that excites me the most about the fact that they're like they're like, let's try a Zelda game, let's try a Peach game, they're giving that stuff a try, is I think, especially in kind of the modern age of video games, a lot of stuff doesn't really have the grace to fail anymore. Like it takes so long to
Oh,
make.
yeah.
It's either you win or you lose. There's no gray area for it. But the fact that Nintendo is being like, let's try out a Peach game, let's try out a Zelda game, hopefully inspires that. I hope that continues to the point where they're like the last Star Fox game didn't do too well. Let's try another Star
Man,
Fox game.
fingers
Same with,
crossed.
Same with like things like Kid Icarus and whatever the hell Captain Falcon's from, Donkey Kong. Like I hope that
That
this
sounded
sort
like
of idea
that
of,
sounded like you were saying that Captain Falcon is from Donkey
Falcon's from
Kong.
Donkey Kong.
yeah yeah Donkey Kong. You know, the famous game Captain Falcon appears in.
I've got my fingers
But no.
crossed that that like the layoffs that are happening in the gaming industry that
Ooh, they're
because
bad.
Nintendo
Well, here's the
Nintendo
thing,
so
though.
far has not been like they
Yeah,
pretty
well,
consistently
you know,
with their history have been known to like support
well,
their
there's
employees.
two reasons for that. One is that the high-level officials at Nintendo are just like more apt to taking responsibility for when something fails.
Yeah.
Like you know, oh,
There's
I'm
there's
blanking
the
on his
big thing
name.
about Satoru Iwata taking
Yeah,
the like
Iwata
half.
taking like a big pay cut so that they didn't have to lay people off
Yeah.
Mhm.
because he's like, no, I was the president. I backed this project and it failed, and I will pay for that. I'll own up
Accept,
to
I
that.
will accept responsibility for that.
Yeah.
And the other thing that Nintendo doesn't do that is leading Sony and particularly Microsoft right now to flounder financially is that Nintendo isn't buying up a bunch of smaller game companies and then preventing them from making games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Like
true.
Microsoft right now is in this really scary pattern of buying up a bunch of smaller companies by making them essentially offers that they can't refuse, right? Like
Yeah.
offering to buy them for like more than that company makes in 10 years.
Here's more money than you've ever seen in your life and will ever see in your life.
And then they just like set them up to fail. They close them down on purpose to try and like
Get like a tax break or something. Maybe.
yeah, it's just like
I
don't
have
know.
I've never seen so many people agreed on how angry they were at Microsoft than I did when they like congratulated Hi-Fi Rush for being super
Oh
successful
my
in a really
God.
popular game, and then they shut down that studio.
Yeah. And then immediately said, "We need more.
We need more games like Hi-Fi Rush.
more successful games made by small
I
studios."
don't
That
Like,
that statement just took one
disclaimer.
year off Corey's life.
Disclaimer, I am not a businessman or an economist. I don't keep up with stocks or like the financial performance of companies that much.
We are haters. We are haters through and through.
But the social stock of Microsoft is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point stands. I hope that this trend of like trying things out again continues, and that will hopefully lead to lots more fun ideas and games from franchises that maybe we've never seen before, and maybe even new games that we've never heard of but will become long-running franchises in their own right.
Speaking of games we've never heard of and will become long-running franchises in their own right, how about Just Dance 2025 edition coming out October of this year?
No idea when I got the first Just Dance for the Wii. Like, this is gonna be a smash hit. I thought it was gonna follow the exact same route as like the Guitar Heroes and the Sing Stars of just like it's good. They'll get a few good games out, and then the company will vanish without a trace, and I'll be like, well,
the
it was
big
fun while
difference.
it lasted.
The big difference between Just Dance and Guitar Hero or Rock Band
hardware.
or any of that is one, you don't have to buy a big plastic guitar to play, so that's cool. Also, it's really simple, and like people who have never played a video game play Just Dance. Like
Yeah.
the Wii version of Just Dance is like a staple of retirement homes because it's like it's so simple that like grandmas and grandpas
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like
are playing it, and it's just so intuitive.
And it's easier to get the hang of and to access than something like a DDR would be.
I always felt like
Yeah.
the Kinect was like the prime way to play Just Dance, and so like since
They had
then,
the Kinect had the Star Wars version. That was pretty popular.
yeah, that too.
I
Yeah.
hope they bring that one back. I want the Han Solo dance to come back in the next Just
Anyway,
Dance
it's popular music that you dance to with your Joy-Con in your
game.
hand.
Shout out to the people playing Just Dance. Good on you for getting exercise in.
Yeah. Good on you.
More than I get in a year. Good heavens.
Next up, we got Lego Horizon Adventures coming out holiday 2024.
Boy, howdy, do I have
Thing
some
to exist.
Boy, howdy, do I have some thoughts. Shout out to the hot dog stand from the beginning, though. That was funny. Just the idea of a hot dog stand existing in the Horizon universe.
That's pretty good. This is the
I have
first
I have two
Horizon game
problems-
on Switch.
Yeah, I have two problems with Lego Horizon. One of them is a Horizon problem. The other is a Lego video game problem.
Okay, shoot. What are?
Uh,
Let me know.
the problem I have with Horizon is not that it's like bad. I've not heard anything but like pretty good things about Horizon from the people who have played it. But Horizon falls into a weird category where it is a game that is well received and has sold like millions of copies and made the company lots and lots of dosh. However, it weirdly has like zero cultural impact. And so
It's kind of
every
like
time I'm like, they're making another one. They're
it's
making a
kind of like
Lego version now.
it's kind of like the Blue People Avatar movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Blue People Avatar movies or something like a Hogwarts Legacy or something like that, where it's just like I know that people like this and that it sold millions of copies and that it's received very well. However, it's come out and it exists, and yet I continue to know nothing about it and see nothing about it. And it seems like an odd thing to like specifically make a Lego game out of, because that's I feel like a lot of the Lego stuff is typically withheld for like turbo popular like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's I will say it looks very
Like a
fun
Lego
to
game.
play. The well, it looks kind of like a Lego game. It looks more like a game of the like Lego movie, because
Mhm.
previous Lego games, they've been bendy, the characters, but like the animation in this, they're rigid like the toys, like the Lego movie was,
Yeah.
which I thought was an interesting choice
Yeah, a
for.
good art choice, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think that the lighting in it looks
Mhm.
gorgeous. I think that it could
I will say,
could be
even though
really good.
I don't care at all about Horizon or anything, I will say those robot designs are pretty good. And if I
Hmm.
got a Lego set with like one of those weird draft things, I would be pretty ecstatic to build that. The the other problem I have in terms of the Lego thing is that this is something I had pointed out to me recently. Basically, ever since Lego Star Wars, the original one came out in 2005, every single Lego game has played the exact same. And
That's
I
true.
really, really wish Lego would leave this well of like it's just Lego Star Wars with a different skin for every single Lego game and
Hmm.
go back to like when they kind of like when they first started making video games with how just like weird and wild and like silly they could be. Like they had the Lego Racer games,
Oh
they had the
yeah.
weird like Lego Island games with pepperoni. They
I
had like a weird like roller coaster tycoon Lego theme park game. Like I like Legos. I'm a big Lego fan through and through, but I do wish
Well,
like they would try a different thing
I
ever.
think you're right. I think what you're also seeing is kind of a shift in like what the mass market appeal of Legos has become,
Hmm.
because back in the 80s and 90s, the appeal of Legos is like, well, you can build anything and you make your own story and you make your own stuff. And that's why the games were kind of focused on like building your own things and things like that. Where
Yeah.
it's like now Lego is all about, making sure that you have all the pieces of your Lego Batcave, and
Hmm.
you put Joker and Harley Quinn in the Batcave cells, and then you have all the different Batman costumes, and it's just
I
it's become like Legos are toys that you can use to act out the movie that you saw.
Right.
yeah. I will say in modern days the Lego sets that I lean towards far more are not the like the pop culture ones. Like I got like pretty
You're building the
recently.
Taj Mahal. You're building the Arc de Triomphe.
Not even that. Like there's some where it's like you're building like a jazz bar. You're building like
Love that.
a bonsai tree. You're
Yeah.
building
Yeah,
almost like the art piece ones that I'm far more interested in
and
as opposed to
that stuff exists and it is cool.
Mhm.
But I do feel like that's kind of more of the like these are like the niche Legos for adults that want to like
Yeah.
build a model.
Yeah.
Whereas if you walk down a toy store in the Lego aisle, and it's like a lot of it is Marvel now. A lot of
A
it is
lot
just
of it
straight
is.
up.
of Marvel.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of Iron Man in the Lego aisle.
Yeah. Tony Stark's been
And
dead
a-
for years.
a
Let
little
him
bit of
die.
Mario,
Let him
too.
rest.
A little bit of
A
Mario.
little bit of
Little
Mario.
bit of Mario.
Have they made
A little
have
bit of
they
Animal
made
Crossing,
a
too.
Lego Mario game?
No,
Not that I'm aware of. No.
not yet. No,
They-
Lego Mario
my-
is the game. That's the thing. They
my
designed him that way
opinions
so
on
that you
Lego-
could play with him.
Yeah, my opinions on Lego come from someone who has loved Lego since he could form conscious thoughts. And at this point, like I bought Lego Star Wars and I still play like the new one with like all 9 of the movies.
Yeah.
And I still play them from time to time. But I've realized pretty quickly after I bought it and I started playing, I was like, man, I've played this game a few dozen times now,
Right.
just with different names and in different eras with different like graphic qualities. And I really want something new.
This looks like it might
I
be
think-
new. We'll see.
I think
For-
they could still be doing like licensed products and be making games that are like different. Like
Yeah.
you know, like do like a little Lego Indiana Jones, but it's like a point and click adventure game, and you gotta solve temple puzzles and you know put the thing on the thing.
That's what I want. I want a Lego murder mystery.
Oh, that would be exceptional.
I want a point and click Lego murder mystery. None of the characters are licensed. It's all just randos.
You don't want a Hercule Poirot.
Yeah, I don't need a Benoit Blanc Lego game. I don't think.
Oh man, Lego
And-
Knives Out.
unless
Look forward
unless
to it.
unless they bring in Daniel Craig to do the Benoit Blanc voice, but in like the weird Lego Simglish that they use for the game, where they're just like,
Well, they don't do that anymore either. Everyone just speaks English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned that off. In Lego Star Wars, you can switch it to like the classic, like,
And it's so much better.
it's so much better.
I love
it's
it so
way
much more.
funnier that way.
Yeah.
What?
Let's
Now
let's
we
move
say
along.
all this. We have all these complaints about the Lego brand, but at the same time, if that Funko Freddy Fazbear Funtime game was Lego instead of Funko,
We'd be all over it.
Yeah,
we would have been at the very least.
I'd have been like num 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 num.
fine. That looks fine. That looks all right.
I'm excited for Lego Five Nights. I think isn't it?
Lego Fight. Yeah.
Oh man, like a Lego Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's like you buy the animatronic and it's like a big Bionicle suit, but then there's like a little minifigure of a child that you put in the chest
Oh
cavity.
no! Oh, that's
That
hilarious.
Happy birthday!
Oh, okay. Let's move on. Next up we got Stray, coming to Switch holiday 2024.
It's another cat game. Who cares?
If I recall, this I feel like people were disappointed by this game.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember.
I think people liked this game. It was just kind of like it didn't perform super well because
I remember it not being exactly what people expected.
yeah, that is true.
I think the only game that I can think of in recent years that I've wanted to play in like the category of you play as just an animal in this world is probably the Goose Game, but that's just because you get to play as like a bastard.
Did
The point of that game is the point of Goose Game is to be a bastard.
yeah.
I'm sure you have options to be a bastard as the cat in all the different cat games that exist now, but that's not the main point.
Yeah, Stray came out literally like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's an old game.
How is Little Kitty Big City or whatever the hell it was called, Sin?
It's great.
Good.
Review should be out soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a review or like an SAS?
Like a review.
Oh, okay. I like your reviews. And I like your SASs.
Thanks.
Do one on Dragon's
Forward
Lair.
to the sequel, Big Kitty Little City.
It's a Godzilla simulator.
There's a bit about that in the game that you can
Nice.
play
Nice.
Play Little Kitty Big City. It's fun.
Maybe I will.
Okay, so next up we got Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, which comes out holiday 2024. They're really just throwing stuff out holiday 2024. This game here, it looks sad. The visuals are giving The Hobbit 1977 in a bad way.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to look that way. I think it's supposed to look like cute and charming.
Too bad they did it wrong.
The characters don't look very appealing, and the lighting is a little bit like muted.
They all look
I
like
think-
that one guy from the Smiling Friends episode.
Yeah,
They all look like myth. I think the problem is that they're trying to like split the difference between making it look cute and appealing, but they also want it to look like the movie, because when anyone thinks of Lord of the Rings, they think of the movie. But I mean, for what it is, like, this looks like just a pretty nice, like, again, like a very cozy game for specifically people that love Lord of the Rings. There was a little bit where like Gandalf and the 4 movie hobbits show up, and it sparked this thought in my head of like, what if there's this twist that in the game, like, you're playing as the events of Lord of the Rings are happening, and then at the end of the game, like, the climax is that Saruman shows up and starts like taking over the Shire like he does in the book of Return of the King.
That's cool.
You see, the thing about this game is that it's there, like, the stuff is there, but it just looks so not great. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it looks so much. But like, I would love to play a game like this.
You can, Sam. It's called every other like cozy game.
I know, right? Yeah, there's plenty of others I could choose.
Play
Yeah, that's the
Stardew
thing, is,
Valley.
like, I don't know, other than the Lord of the Rings license, I don't know what sets this apart from like your Stardew Valley, or like even like your smaller stuff, like any of those innumerable games where you run a potion shop or
Yeah.
a
See, the
restaurant
cool thing-
or whatever.
The cool thing about the Animal Crossings and the Stardew Valleys is it provides the exact same experience without looking like it was animated by either Ralph Bakshi or the Rankin Bass Corporation. It's
Derogatory.
derogatory. I love those movies, and they are in their own right beautiful films.
Yeah.
Just
I will
the two
also
animated
say-
ones.
I will also say, and granted, like, take this as someone who does not enjoy the cozy game subcategory in the same way that you do, Sam.
Yeah, Corey's a hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm
I'm a hater for Funko Pops. Get out of here.
None of them specifically fit like a niche of what I want. But what I was gonna say is that this game also gives me vibes, or not vibes, but just like a feeling similar to Fallout Shelter. Which is
Okay.
to say that this is a game that takes place in a universe where I know that big fun adventures are happening, and I'm not going on big fun adventures. I'm managing this little community, and maybe sometimes a cool guy will show up.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that
That's
there's
fair.
no adventure or anything. You literally are just
You
you're
know,
just a guy. You're just
I-
a funny little guy in a funny little place.
I understand that, Corey. I take back everything that I said about this game, except for the bad things.
Do we
I
wanna
hold steadfast on all of the bad things that I said, and I take back anything that I said that I wanted to play this game.
want to throw any more gas on the Funko fire, or are we gonna?
No,
do you think?
I think
Let's see where the day takes
yeah,
us.
there's plenty there.
All right.
Next up, we got Ace Attorney Investigations Collection coming out September 6th of this year.
and during Pride Month as well. They know their audience.
Edgeworth, man. Oh, what a
Him
guy.
and his little maroon coat that he wears.
Yeah.
What a
And
cutie.
and the ruffliest cravat that a man has ever
It
worn.
sure is. Oh, I love
And
that
his
guy.
pompous little voice.
It's nice to have another Ace Attorney collection on the Switch.
Yeah.
How many of them
Also,
are there
Another
now? There's like what,
franchise
4
I've
now?
never played.
I don't know if you guys caught this. I think they mentioned it in the direct. But something that a lot of people are excited about is that one of the games in this
Yeah.
collection never got an official release in North America.
Hell
There
yeah.
was a fan translated version that people were playing for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking
Pretty cool.
of franchises that I'm happy are still going and still have a fan base and are still getting like re-releases and stuff like that, Ace Attorney. I've never played a single one, but shout out to all the Ace Attorney fans out there that enjoy it.
Should be.
I'm happy that y'all are eating today.
It's good. It's good. I've only played a
I'm
little
happy
bit.
you're
of it,
getting a
but-
couple pieces of stale bread, and I hope you get a full meal in the way of a full game.
Should be
A full brand new game.
fun. Okay, next up we got the 100-line Last Defense Academy, coming out early 2025.
Is that the Danganronpa game?
Yeah.
so here's the funny thing. Here's the funny
Danganronpa
thing.
fans, I hope you're not eating well. I hope you suffer, actually.
I legitimately thought that this was a Danganronpa game. Like even after seeing the title, I was just like, "Oh yeah, it's Danganronpa. It
I
has to take
assumed
place
so
in that
too.
universe, right?" It doesn't. It's a different thing, but it's exactly the same thing. It's the same art style. It's like a weird apocalyptic universe.
You got like
A
3
bunch
different
kids are
types of
holed up in a
games.
pool, and it's like this is exactly Danganronpa. I don't know why this isn't a Danganronpa game.
Danganronpa fans, I'd like to apologize. I was too harsh out the gate. I don't hope you eat poorly. I'm glad that you are getting another Danganronpa, even though it doesn't have that title.
I mean, it's not Funko Pops, so there's that at least.
Sam, your hate levels are too high. We gotta move on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
I will say that like
Which was
I will
minutes
say
ago.
that like I'm friends with a lot of the Fire Emblem girlies online,
I'm aware.
and I'm sure that when they saw that like because this is kind of like a tactical game in that style, they even like allude to like permanent character death in a non-direct way, but it's just like, man, this is not what they wanted.
Yeah, no.
Uh-uh.
Danganronpa is a game that again, it's like good on the fans that are getting something coming their way, but it has just never been like I look at it, I'm like that is not something that interests me.
It's very much it's like
What if I like one of the cute anime girls and then she dies because I played a minigame bad, and then she's just gone forever? What then?
well,
What am I supposed to reload a save? I will. Too much
oh
work.
no, it's not even that. It's not even that type of game. Like Jason, these characters are gonna die even if you play perfectly.
I know, that's the problem.
Everybody dies.
It's the same thing with the Five Nights at Freddy's. I will play a Five Nights at Freddy's when there's an ending I can get where I befriend all the animatronics and we all go out for ice cream at the end.
That's the movie, Jason.
Excellent.
That's the plot of
Gotta
the movie.
watch the movie.
Yeah.
Good. I want the movie in game form.
Okay. Anything else to say about Last Defense Academy?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, no, nothing. I got nothing.
We'll move on to Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, coming out October 24th, 2024.
I think
So
I
this
was
is
interested in
apparently
that game.
a remake.
Supposedly.
Romancing Saga 2, I guess already came out, or maybe it was just Saga 2, and Romancing is how they signify that it's. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the history of this series. I just
Nor
wanted
am
to take
I.
this opportunity to say, because we're at the second to last game,
Game looked good.
that this was a fantastic direct for like turn-based
It
RPGs.
really was.
And I won't be playing all of them, but I will be playing a few.
Corey, I literally have in my notes here, there are too many RPGs to play them all.
Yeah.
There are so many RPGs that exist, and I would love to give everything a chance, but I do not have the time or capacity to do so.
Right.
The
This one looks
original-
interesting. It looks good, but it's kind of unfortunate that it's coming out at the same time as all of these because I will probably not be playing this one. I will probably be playing Fantasian and Mario and Luigi and Dragon Quest.
It looks really pretty, though.
It does.
Jason, anything?
I saw it and I was like, "Ooh, that looks fun." And then they moved on, and I forgot about it until just now. So,
Great. Okay.
I don't know how that game differs from the original Romancing Saga 2, which was released in like '93 for the Super Famicom.
Oh, well, then the difference would probably be the fact that it's not a Super Famicom game.
That's
Oh, there you go.
a pretty
Excellent.
significant difference, I think.
I don't even know if it's like a remake of that one or if it's like its own separate Romancing Saga 2 meme.
I don't know.
I
Who's
don't
to
know.
say?
Who's
What happens next?
Not me. What happens next is development hell has been breached, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond has punched its way out.
At all the gates.
This
Can't
is
let the game escape yet.
coming out 2025.
That's what they say.
When this game was announced at E3 2017, so when it comes out, it will have been a long time.
My
Couple
notes
years.
say the One Piece is real.mp3. No, but it looks great. I don't
Played a
know.
Metroid.
I don't know how much of what we saw is like actual gameplay. It looks like it was probably CG mocked up to look like gameplay in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
That's fair.
But the fact that they are bringing it up again is cool because that means that they intend to release it.
They're showing
Ever.
they're showing everything except that like previously all they had shown was Metroid Prime 4, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, years.
So
ago.
we've got an actual logo now, and
Wow.
Beyond.
and a trailer, which is great.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when it came up with like 20X9 or whatever it came up with, my immediate reaction was not Metroid, it was, ooh, new Star Fox.
I would love a new Star Fox. But I haven't played. I didn't play Corruption on the Wii, but I played Metroid Prime on the GameCube, and I played a little bit of Echoes on
I'm
the
not gonna
GameCube
lie
as
to you
well.
gamers, I have no idea why I'm here. The more we talk, the more I'm like, man, I have not played a video game ever, apparently.
You want to come over to
I
my?
mean-
You want to come over to my place and we can play Metroid Prime?
Right now?
I got him on GameCube.
Right
Yeah,
now,
hop
right
on-
this
hop on
very
the plane.
exact Moment. A plane? I'm just gonna get in my car and drive. It
All
can't
right.
be that far.
Yeah.
You're only.
Half a country away.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
You're so far away. Oh, 1 day and 5 hours away, Sam.
this particular game, I still fully believe that this is going to be a cross-generation release with
Oh,
the
probably.
new console, just like Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild was.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It's been in just because Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild were both in development hell for I don't know how long, and then they ended up being cross generation.
It is interesting of like I don't know. Because I don't want to rub salt in the wound for anyone who foolishly really thought there was going to be a Silk Song announcement.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
me.
No, Silk Song is Team Cherry is gonna announce it how they want to announce it when they want to announce it, and it's probably not gonna be in a Nintendo Direct. It might be in some sort of like indie showcase at some point, but most likely I feel like they're just gonna show their own thing.
They're actually Team Cherry is going to start at their own uncozy direct.
Yeah. Maybe
that's where
maybe
Silk
they'll
Song's gonna be
maybe they'll do
announced.
it at Summer Game Fest next year. Maybe they'll do
All
it at
I
the
was
Game
gonna
Awards
say-
end of this year. Who knows?
All I was gonna say is that, like, for some reason with Nintendo, especially like first party Nintendo games, like I never have that kind of anxiety of like, or not even anxiety, but it's just like, I don't know. There's some place in my heart that's just like, Silk Song's not coming out. Like it's canceled. They won't say it's canceled.
It doesn't
but
exist
probably
any
is.
longer.
But I never get that sentiment with like a first party Nintendo game because they just have a really good track record of, even when something takes a while to come out,
When they
like-
announce something, it's coming.
like, well, not only that, but like, you know, you mentioned Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild, and it's like, if a mainline Nintendo property is taking a while to come out, most of the time when it gets out the gate at last, you're gonna have a pretty good quality product. You're gonna have something that you're gonna enjoy for years. Not
Right.
always. Sometimes you're gonna get a Star Fox Zero, but often, like, these things take a long time to come out because they're trying to get it just right.
You know what they should do? They should do Star Fox Assault 2. They should do another Star Fox Assault. That game was good.
They should bring Crystal back in the next Star Fox game, I think.
Well, she was in Assault.
Yeah.
Fucking rub a salt into your wounds. Art.
Got him.
Hey, got him.
I hope that Samus doesn't talk for most of it,
Please.
but then every once in a while she'll just like say a swear. Like something explodes too close to you, and Samus is just like, shit. Fuck.
Ah, rats.
Beans.
Get like Jen Hale or somebody just to record like Samus swearing.
Pretty good.
What's the deal?
Damn,
with
not here.
What's the deal with the evil Samus in this? Because it's not Dark Samus.
That was like a guy or a woman or some, I don't know. I didn't
Great.
think it was evil Samus. I thought it was
You've
some
given
other
me-
entire character.
You've given me so much information here.
That's the thing, is we don't know. We don't know who that is.
That's a new character.
I think so. It doesn't look like any sort of Samus recreation that has existed in the previous.
I mean, I don't know. It's the thing with a gun arm, the visor mask, staring down Samus, and she's got a visor mask.
Could be some other sort of like space pirate or something in a
It's her from the future when she's evil.
in a different in like
Or-
their
or
own
it's-
version of a power suit.
Or it's like her evil twin sister that she didn't know she had.
Yeah, Lannis.
Sam
that
Them.
got adopted by the space pirates, like how she got adopted by the Chozos.
They introduce a third sibling that Samus didn't know she had, and then it's just going to be the plot of Sonic Underground, but with Samus and her two
They
siblings.
made a vow their mother would be found. All right.
Samus Underground!
Guys got any last thoughts on the direct today?
Any last meal requests before execution?
Yeah.
I was talking to Corey about this when it's over. I always hope, with like every single direct, that it's going to be like they're announcing every game that hasn't had a proper like
Well, that's the thing, is like
in
people's
years, and it's like
people's expectations for this are always like
Way too
really
high.
unrealistic,
Mhm.
because it just becomes like, ooh, I want this game and I want that game, and like I saw people saying like like without a hint of irony, at least that I could detect, that was like, I want a remake of Fire Emblem 4, and I want a new Fire Emblem, and I want a port of Twilight Princess, and it's like already
just one
already
company.
you listed those three things. Those three things are not going to be coming out at the same direct.
New
No,
They just aren't.
New Zelda game. I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy that that is the case, rather than a port of any
Yeah,
other Zelda.
I agree.
For the next-
I do still wish that I could play Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on something that is better than the
Portable.
Wii U.
Yeah.
But no, I'm much happier with Echoes of Wisdom than I would have been with either of those. But I'm just saying, like, I think people set their expectations really, really high, and then they get disappointed when it's not like any of the specific things that they wanted. When it's like, really, you look back at this and it's like, this is a pretty good direct.
Yeah.
Like,
It
we've
is.
got a new Mario and Luigi. We've got a bunch of
I
like
my
cool
expectation.
looking RPGs.
My expectations were in the basement, Corey, and
We've
so like
got
out of the gate, I was like, "Oh,
we-
this Mario
we've got
Luigi looks
new
great."
stuff coming to NSO. We've got a new Mario Party. Like
We
Hello Kitty, Donkey Kong Country.
I think
Yeah, it's just like, and then they finally have an update on Metroid Prime. So
yeah,
like, really,
good work, gang.
we're eating good. I think.
I think personally the funniest thing to come out of this direct was not even anything in the direct itself, but that like after it was done and we were talking about it and one of the other servers, poor sweet Tyler, who is not like made has not we've not seen hide or hair of in that server for years at this point. I cannot remember the last time Tyler posted anything
Oh
in
yeah.
like the Bingo Bongo server. Was like, tell me if there's anything about Metroid or Pokemon. I can't bear to watch.
I was a little bit surprised that there was no Pokemon anything.
I'm not.
They tend to do their own thing a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just used to there like always being some like weird Pokemon thing coming out. Like I wasn't expecting a new mainline game or like an update on ZA,
Yeah.
but it's like like whenever one of these things rolls around, like I always think like there's gonna be some like phone thing with Pokemon.
They're gonna give us an update for Pokemon Sleep.
something.
Anyways, I'm excited for the definitive edition of Silksong, which will come prepackaged with a Bloodborne PC port. One last thing before we go.
Oh
that
my
I
god.
do have to say, shut up. Nintendo, make a new Miitomo game.
Miitomo,
Oh,
bring
yeah, that's
Miitomo
true.
back. Put
That's
Miitomo
true,
back.
We do need Miitomo.
We need
Not
Miitomo.
enough games are brave enough to have both marriage and
Marriage
baby.
and
That's what
baby.
you're missing. That's
Forget
what you're
the
missing,
Zelda
Nintendo.
crap. Forget Metroid. Throw it in the garbage. Where's my Miitomo?
You know what?
Where's
You know what?
Miitomo?
You know what? Z tier direct. No mention of Miitomo.
No, you know what? I'll say it. Hey, Eiji Aonuma. Eiji. You know, we were in that sake bar in Kyoto, and you told me there would be a Miitomo, and you lied to me, Eiji.
Lied.
And I'm gonna come find you. And it's nothing personal, but you made a promise, and you need to own up to that.
Okay.
I
You hear
will
this?
now
You hear
read
this?
off- I will now read off a series of things that I intend to do to Nintendo that will put me on a watch list. We should probably get out of here. Starting with number one.
Okay. Thanks for stopping by, folks.
Bye, everyone.